Following breaking news out of South Korea, where an unannounced address this morning, South Korea's president declared martial law, accusing opposition parties of sympathizing with North Korea. South Korea's parliament just passed a resolution demanding the martial law be lifted. These are some pictures that are coming out of the capital. It's a live look at protesters outside of parliament there in the capital of Seoul. Joining us now is NBC's Janice Mackey-Frayer. Janice, what do we know about what led the president to take this step? And there's been so much reaction to it, much of it people putting it out on social media.
Well, this is a dramatic political move by South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. In this late-night TV broadcast, he said he had no choice but to resort to martial law in order to safeguard what he called free and constitutional order. He says it's to protect the Republic of Korea from the threat of North Korean communist forces and to eradicate what he called the despicable North Korean anti-state forces. Now, the main opposition party in South Korea has condemned the move. They're calling it unconstitutional. They're having a vote on it. They're calling on people to converge on Parliament so they can have this vote on the declaration. The last time martial law was declared in South Korea was in 1979. It means that political activities are banned. Protests are prohibited. The media is being censored. You can see there are large crowds gathering outside the National Assembly building in Seoul. A live feed from Yonhap News Agency inside the building shows that people are gathering in there too. Police are around enforcing this decision. Special forces reported to be inside as well.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and divine honors to those great millstones, while unto truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson to spare and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of the lesson is South Korean president declares emergency martial law. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by APR Associated Press. And it reads, it says, South Korea lift president martial law decree after lawmakers reject military rule. Let's get a little bit more. It says here, Seoul, South Korea. It said the president of South Korea early Wednesday lifted the martial law he imposed on the country hours earlier, said bending to political pressure after a tense night in which troops surrounded parliament and lawmakers voted to reject military rule. President Yoon Suk-yeol, who appeared likely to be impeached over his action to impose martial law late Tuesday out of frustration with the oppression, vowing to eliminate anti-state forces as he struggles against opponents who control parliament and that he accuses of sympathizing or supporting or agreeing with communist North Korea. It says here is that police and military personnel were seen leaving the grounds of parliament following the bipartisan vote to overrule the president, and the declaration was formally lifted around 4:30 a.m. during a cabinet meeting. So we see right here that this man imposed it. Let's get this last little report. It said Parliament acted swiftly after martial law was imposed, with the National Assembly Speaker, said Woo Won Saki, declaring that the law was invalid and that the lawmakers would protect the democracies with the people. So we see right here that this is a precursor that is getting ready to come to America. So these people right here, they they rebelled against, against their government, and also against their president, So he said he did it because they was sympathizing, or they were supporting or agreeing with the other side, which in fact is North Korea. So we already knowing that North Korea is also in alliance with what Russia. So we're seeing right now that a lot of things right now is coming to full circle. We're seeing right now that a lot of these nations, neighboring nations are divided, just like South Korea and North Korea. And I also, if I'm not mistaken, I think that America has a military base in South Korea, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, that we knowing that we're very close to these times, civil unrest, civil war, sedition among men, invading one another, it's getting ready to be a lawless time. So this lasted for a couple of hours, then it was lifted because he was under pressure, under fire. And one thing about it, and now they're saying that, it's rumors that he could be impeached. So one thing about it, we already knowing that this total what, trying to have this totalitarian law, this total dictatorship. This is what Donald Trump, DJ Donald Trump, is constantly, exhibiting and constantly showing, trying to exert his authority, constantly, trying to bring forth this new society, this NWO. So we seeing that these things right here, this has been kind of like quiet in the news. They're not bringing these things up, but one thing about it, this could have been very, very serious. This could have been very, very, could have went the wrong way, but they finally shut it down. Could it have been a test run, or could this have been something that they shot up to see, to feel out things? We already knowing that how China is doing things over there with this social credit score, with this new surveillance system, which is going to be dealing with your biometrics. So all these things are working together. So one thing about it, the Lord said he would set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, brothers against brothers, neighbors against neighbors, city against city. So right now, this right here got kicked off for a couple of hours, then it was lifted. So one thing about it, that, we knowing that this devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. So over here, these people right here was totally against whatever the president, was putting down. So one thing about it, DJ Donald Trump thinking that he has the answer. He thinking that he is going to make America great again. So these people's over here in South Korea, they wasn't going for, martial law, decree. It says here once again, South Korea lifts President martial law decree after lawmakers reject military rules. So one thing about it, a lot of things is getting ready to go very left. So we already knowing that he's talking about, we hearing about Project 25, we already know a lot of those things, it's going to be dealing with what total control. Also, we know about Operation Gordon Plot. A lot of things are coming to pass, just look these things up. Operation Lockstep, also the King Alfred plan. A lot of these things that they're trying to impose, but one thing we're already knowing that it's going to be uproars of the people, it's going to be a time of trouble that we have never seen before. So let's look up, let's get the meaning of martial law. Let's see, can we get it right quick? I got to pull it up. It says here, let's get the meaning of, so to bring out a little bit more edification. It says here, martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian rule, and usually invoked in times of war, rebellion, or national disaster. So when martial law is in effect, the military commander of an area or country has unlimited authority to make and enforce laws. So when these things go down, we already said right here, because of what? A time of war, or what? Rebellion, which in fact will order out of chaos. And also it said, of a national disaster. So we already know what happened over there in North Carolina, also in the Appalachian Mountains, I think in Tennessee. We're seeing that FEMA moved in, but that has not called martial law. They already said that they were going to get the National Guard involved, but any given time, these things that happen. Also, this could be some type of outbreak or something like that. It could call a military, which in fact, see what here that the military will be involved. So we already know that DJ Donald Trump, president-elect, said that, that he will use the military for this deportation project that he's got coming up. But we're going to see how that fan out. But we already knowing that, he won't be able to do a damn thing. The Lord is in perfect control. So we see right here that martial law involves, it tell you once again, it's a time of war. So we right now at what time of war? World War III is constantly brewing. Things are getting ready to escalate. Rebellion. So these people right now are constantly rebelling. The nations are divided. We're seeing nation risings against nation. A lot of things are constantly happening. So we already know that the stage is set. All things are ready. These national disaster. These earthquakes in diverse places. All these different weather storms. These strange weather patterns. Arctic blast, these different hurricane, cyclones, flooding, thunder, hailstorm. So a lot of these things, they can, bring forth to bring forth their agenda, their plan, their plot. So, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So this looks just like a military, dictatorship only for a few hours. The people, they started bucking up, and he's seeing that he was losing his grip of power. So one thing about it, but the Lord, he's in perfect control. He is the ultimate power. So when you go into a military dictatorship, I'm gonna read it off my other phone. I'm not gonna pull it up on this phone because I have a lot of tabs open. It says a military dictatorship is a form of government where military officers hold power and control over a country. Military dictatorships are often established through a military coup. But can also be formed when the military is empowered during a time of domestic unrest. So that's what we're very close to that, So, right now, a lot of things are very uneasy, unsettling right now. A lot of uncertain times, So we're here, we're coming upon these perilous times. So now let's go here and get a couple of precepts, and I have one more video to show. Let's go here. Start here in Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, said that right grievousness which they have prescribed or authorized. So it said, woe to them, destruction to them, you know what I'm saying? And also when you go into that word decrees, it goes into a law, you know what I'm saying? Like martial law, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, they constantly bring these things to pass in times of trouble, time of war, time of natural disaster, many other things, rebellion, order out of chaos. These things are it's coming into play. So it's going to be very grievously upon these, upon the people, also upon these different nations, So one thing about it is that we know that we're very close. So we already know that North Korea, is constantly, in conflict with South Korea. Also, we know about China and Taiwan. A lot of things are getting ready to come to pass. Also, Ukraine and Russia. So, it's a time of war. It's right before our eyes. So any given day, they could call, a martial law or some type of lockdown, what I'm saying? Constantly put you in a chokehold. Let's read this once again. It says here, woe or destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees or a law, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So one thing about it, that, we're going to constantly see these unrighteous decrees. They're going to constantly come out. Totalitarian law, military dictatorship, what I'm saying? A lot of these things are getting ready to come into play, what I'm saying? This revived Roman empire, is getting ready. They're getting ready to go back to their old nature. We constantly seeing these things, constantly lining up left and right. So now let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. Let's go straight to the point. So right now we already know this sedition among men, uproars of the people, you know what I'm saying, invading one another, shall not regard. So, you know, we seeing this right before our eyes. You know, just a quick lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. It says 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 15 said, for the sword in their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. So we already know that this lasted for, you know, a few hours. And one thing about it, that, you know, the president was under so much pressure that he had to lift that a martial law, you know, so that what he had prescribed or authorized, you know. And one thing about it, we already know that, you know, it's getting ready to go down. You know, we're seeing that right now. The nations right now are very stirred up. They are constantly bucking up. The heathens are raging, you know, so we're very close to all hell breaking loose. So the sword in their destruction draws nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. That's exactly where we at. It's getting ready to go down. We constantly warning you left and right. Verse 16 said, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So right there, you know, they reject the military rule, you know, so they're not going to regard their kings, you know, their princes, you know, they're not going to regard law enforcement. They're not going to regard the military, you know, they're not going to regard government officials, you know. And one thing about it, they didn't even regard the president, Yoon Suk Yeol. They did not regard him at all. Now they're saying that, you know, it's a possibility that he could get impeached. So they're trying to get him out of office. You know, that's what reports are saying. So right here, it's going to be sedition among men, civil unrest, civil war. That's exactly what they wanted. So this is, you know, coming soon to America. But one thing about it, when it comes to America, you know, we already knowing that it's going to spiral out of control like you have never seen before. So we you know, these things right here, and a lot of people, you know, look at these things and, you know, oh, they're just something happened. They got it back. You know, everything is back. Happy go lucky. No, but one thing about it is just these what you call the birth pain. You know, they constantly intensify. They constantly increasing. Verse 17, we say, man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able because of these lockdowns, because of these checkpoints, you know, the military lockdown. A lot of things are getting ready to come into play. You know, they are talking about these 15-minute cities, these shipping stations, these facilities, you know, FEMA camps. A lot of things are coming into play. So we already know, and also they already have a lot of different large put it like this, buildings or stadiums that they can hold a massive population. You know, they can go there in case of some type of emergency. You know, so that, you know, one thing about it, so any given day, you know, they can call or declare this or declare that. So, you know, we're gonna constantly watch, you know, measure the time diligently, because we know right now the stage is set. And also, you know, a man shall desire to go into another city, you know, because, you know, he won't be able if he don't have it under the skin. We know that grain of rice is gonna play a major role. You know, it's gonna be the ultimate goal. So we know that we're very close to these times. Verse 18 said, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So a lot of people are going to be afraid. A lot of people are going to have vexation of spirit, a lot of desperation and sorrow. You know, people hadn't eaten in 7 days, no water, no food, no resource, no power. You know, a lot of things are getting ready to happen. A lot of people getting ready to be displaced. A lot of people are getting ready to be put to death. You know, also it's going to be a massive loss of life. Verse 19 say, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because the lack of bread and great tribulation. So it's going to be a lack of bread, you know, food shortage, rolling blackouts, you know, cyber attack. A lot of things are coming into play. Just like I say, you know, this uprising over there in South Korea, you know what I'm saying, you know, and he felt like that he need to impose martial law, emergency martial law, because they were sympathizing, or they were siding, or they was in favor, or they was in agreement or supporting of the other side, which in fact is North Korea. So that's looking mighty bad, So we know that these things are constantly picking up because of democracy. So we already know that America has a major influence on a lot of these different countries around the world, constantly causing all sorts of chaos. So, but one thing about it, we know that it's going to be great tribulation that we've never seen before. That's why the Lord said, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. So now I got one more quick video, and then we'll close out. Let's go here. Let's get this. It's another one I want to get right quick. Let's get this one here.
Following break.
I don't think anybody understands what just happened in South Korea, but we will. In a matter of 6 hours, South Korean citizens stared down the barrel of a military dictatorship and shut it down. It was only 40 years ago that South Korea had a military dictatorship. Their citizens, they've seen how bad it is, and they're not going to let it happen again. Americans have lost that fight. Not only did President Yoon back down and rescind his declaration of martial law, but as a result, the Korean Federation of Trade Unions, which includes 1 million workers, including the entire Hyundai assembly line, announced an indefinite general strike until President Yoon resigns. Adjusting for population, that would be like if 7 million Americans went on strike to demand the resignation of Donald Trump. The overwhelming response was warranted. South Korean officials announced that they reviewed closed-circuit footage, discovered that in the process of declaring martial law, President Yoon attempted to have the opposition party leader, the ruling party leader, and the Speaker of the National Assembly arrested. They tried to arrest political leaders before they could hold a vote to overturn martial law. President Yoon attempted to overthrow the South Korean government. South Korean citizens have seen this movie before, and they're not going to watch a rerun. So instead of allowing President Yoon to provide Donald Trump with a case study on how to overthrow a modern democratic government, South Korean citizens provided us with a blueprint on how to respond if Donald Trump tries to do the same.
So we seeing right there that they saying that that he was trying to overthrow the South Korean government, but we seen that that a false attempt or whatever was attempting to bring to take over the government. So we seeing that a military dictatorship. So we seeing it right with our eyes. So let's close out here. So we always got to be watching. Always redeem the time wisely, because we're seeing these things are constantly picking up. And they go come right here to America's front door, very soon. So we already know if it's we don't even know yet, but Trump is saying so much that he's going to do, if he get into office. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But one thing about it, we already know how the story is going to end. We're seeing that transition of power is taking place right before our eyes. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2 said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. People right now are constantly, are mourning right now. A lot of people, a lot of uproar, a lot of uncertainty, and also a lot of people are very tensed up, very angry. This is civil unrest. Rioting. Protesting. A lot of things are happening left and right. We're coming upon these times. So these things are going to pick up a time of trouble that we have never seen before. Let's read it once again. We'll close out. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2, it said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. So exactly, we already know that we are very close, that the Lord is getting ready to turn the tables. The Lord is getting ready to set everything back into order. So these things don't constantly pick up. That great tribulation period is coming upon us. Jacob's trouble, it's very close at hand. So we are very close. We are very excited because we know that we are very close at the end of this thing. Our salvation is very close than we yet believe. So we seeing right now, South Korean president, he tried what's called a coup or a government overthrow, and also it's already rumors that Donald Trump is going to try to attempt, the way he's talking, but we already know that, that a lot of people are in opposition. This president, he tried it, but he seen where it got him. So, just like I say, DJ Donald Trump, he's going to F around and find out also. So, things are heating up. Things are very exciting. We know that these prophecies are speaking loud and clear, and the Lord is getting ready to show up, and set everything back into order. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is South Korean President declares emergency martial law. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.